On episode 183 of the 40 Plus Fitness podcast, we're going to get into mindset and talk about vanity and self-confidence. You can find the full show notes for this episode at 40plusfitnesspodcast.com/183. Have you decided you're ready to make a change? To reclaim your health and fitness? The 40 Plus Fitness podcast is here for you. I'm your host, Alan Meisner. I'm an NSAM certified personal trainer with a specialization in corrective exercise and fitness nutrition. Let me be your coach as you find your way on your health and fitness journey. All right, let's go. Hello, and thank you for being here today. I did want to take a moment to thank you for being a part of the podcast. Through my work schedule and my travels and just getting really sick, I've had some difficulty keeping up with the podcast, and I let a couple episodes go. And I really do apologize for that. It wasn't something I intended. I was pretty well ahead when this all started, but the illness struck on, and I really didn't have the voice to be able to record. And I want to make sure that I bring you my best each day. So I went ahead and opted to not do the recordings and only release the episodes where I had some interviews and been pre-recorded and would allow you to go ahead and get those out there. But today is just me, and we're going to talk a little bit of mindset and a good bit about how sometimes the reasons why we're doing things and the results that we're getting can often kind of give us some good feedback and some bad feedback, depending on how we choose to take it. So I'll go ahead and get into the episode. As you know, most of us, as we start on this journey, we're not really happy with ourselves. We're not happy with the way we look. We're not happy with the way we feel. And in many cases, something has happened that makes us want to change. And so there's this dynamic of desire to be different, a desire to change. And we often kind of have this mental image that of what we want to look like, what we want to feel like when we get this whole thing done. And as that starts to happen, a couple different things can go wrong. Okay, a couple good things can happen. It just really depends on your mindset. So I want to kind of take both tracks. And you might be on one of these tracks, or you might be on the other, or you might actually relate a little bit to both of them. So as we kind of go through them, I just want you to kind of think about how you feel about your personal journey. And then we're gonna kind of reverse engineer this so that you can kind of use your approach to this, your feelings as you get into this, as a way of just kind of accelerating your progress. So for a lot of people, as they get into their weight loss journey and they start kind of showing some results, and people start commenting on that, if you're not used to being the center of attention, that can come off as a little scary. And I've had clients that I've actually lost because they were showing good results. And there was no absolute reason for them to quit. They were actually, what they were doing was working. They were getting compliments. They were getting all the things that they needed from the program. But the problem was they really didn't want that extra attention. Or they were really proud of how they felt. And some other people kind of saw that as off-putting, that, oh, you're bragging. Because a lot of times when we're around people that are struggling like we are, we're in the company of friends. We're all in this together, and we're all suffering together. And there's a comfort to that. There's a comfort to us all being the same. When one of us starts being a little bit different, the others might act a little differently towards you. So as you're seeing this progress, realize that there's going to be times when people aren't going to be so happy for you. Or they're going to say they're happy for you, but you're not really comfortable being the center of attention where everybody's asking you, well, what are you doing? And how are you doing that? Oh, I could never do that. Is that safe? Is that the right way to do it? And they get you questioning yourself. They get you questioning why you're doing this and what you're doing. And I'd say if you find yourself in that situation, you need to stop. You need to stop and realize what's going on and how these negative emotions are going to be a problem for you. And in reality, you now have a huge opportunity. And the opportunity is that you have the opportunity to be the example. And I know that's a hard challenge to put in front of you today, but if you're feeling self-conscious about the fact that you're feeling better about yourself, you're looking better, and people are commenting you on it, that's not vanity. That's not a problem. It really was as a matter of, you should take that as a vote of confidence. You should take that as an opportunity for you to start helping to educate and pull others along. Successful leaders, successful people get successful not by climbing on the backs of other people. They get successful by climbing a rung and helping others come up behind them and support them. So if we're supporting each other, there's a huge opportunity for growth, because the people that we like to surround ourselves with, our friends, are in this with us. Again, there's a comfort in numbers, but you don't want to lower yourself to the lowest common denominator. You want to help pull them up to where you are. So as you kind of go through this battle and you're going through some of the emotional aspects of it, and don't kid yourself, weight loss is a very emotional battle. It is so little physical that it's actually sad that I'm in the fitness model as a trainer, because there's so little that I can do for someone in the gym if they don't have the right mindset. So just realize that you have this huge opportunity when people are admiring you, when people are lifting you up, to take that as an opportunity to pull them up with you. Okay, so don't shirk that responsibility. Please do make sure that if someone is complimenting you, you thank them for that compliment. And if they start asking you what you're doing, share that with them. Share that opportunity with them so they can learn and they can do it for themselves. Maybe they won't, but it's you control you, and you liking the way you look, you liking the way you feel is a sign of confidence. It's not a vanity. So don't be upset with how you feel about that. Now I'm going to take that other track, and this is more the track that I tend to take, is when things are going really well, it feeds me. It makes me want more. It makes me push harder. So as I'm doing really well, that kind of snowballs to me doing much better. Now, is that a vanity? No, that's that same side of that same coin of it's still self-confidence. Now, at the same time, if I have a few bad days, like I've just gone through this illness and haven't been working out, and it was over the Thanksgiving holidays, so I was concerned, okay, I haven't been eating as well as I needed to, and there were a lot of meals on the road and traveling and all that, again, not my normal approach. And so I was off kilter. I wasn't feeling well. I didn't get in the gym. I wasn't doing the work. And so my mind now is wrapping around some of those negative connotations of, oh, I'm losing everything that I gained. All the work I did is going away. Well, suffice to say, I stepped on the scale this morning and I weigh exactly what I weighed the day I left here for my trip. So even though I didn't necessarily manage myself as well as I needed to, there was no damage done. I could have let my mind run and say, oh, I'm messed up. And even if I had put on a couple pounds, I know what I personally have to do if I want to drop a little bit of that extra weight. I know exactly what to do. So the confidence that I have built in myself from the successes I've had, I just have to realize that those are things I need to now roll in to my behavior patterns going forward. I don't need to let the downflow be something that hurts my confidence and tells me that I cannot do this, because I know that I can, and I know that you can. So as you kind of look at your path, as you look at how you're going through this and realizing you're going to have good days and you're going to have bad days, and there's never this straight upward or straight downward trajectory, it's always going to be kind of an up and down movement. You're going to have great days, you're going to have bad days, you're going to have really good days, you're going to have some so-so days. That's normal. That's life. That's how everything's supposed to go. So just realize that you need to understand where your emotional fix is and build on the things that are working well for you, and be a support for the people that are really struggling in this race, because they're going through a lot of those same emotional battles that I've been talking about here today. Is maybe they don't know that they can do it. Maybe they think it's too hard. They see you doing it, but they don't understand how you're doing it, and they can't do it. And maybe they even try some of the things that you've told them, not quite working out the way that they intended, but they can see some progress, and you need to help feed that. Say, hey, you're doing great. Come on, keep up with it. You can keep doing this. I remember when I was with my first wife, and she had decided she wanted to run a 5K, and I said, okay, I'll help you. And I was running at that time a good bit. So I said, let's go out. And she's like, well, I can't run. And I'm like, well, you don't have to run. We'll walk today. And she's like, well, how does walking make me better at running? I said, you're moving, and I'll show you. And so the first day we go out and we walk this little course. So there was a little thing through the park, and we walked that little path. Okay, we didn't go really fast. We just walked that path. And each day that we went out to that path, it got easier and easier for her to walk that path. And when she was really having no trouble walking that path, one day we're out walking and I said, okay, see that telephone pole there? And it was about maybe 30 yards ahead of us. I said, yeah. I said, we're going to jog to that pole. And she jogged to that pole. And that's all we did that day. We walked our normal walk with that one little jog. Each time we went out there, I added another little jog, or we made the jog a little bit longer. And we did that and built and built and built. And then her confidence built up to a point where she was comfortable when it was the day for her to try to compete and do a 5K, which she completed. So I only tell you that story to say that if you believe you can't, you can't. And you have to really focus on your mindset and not get disgruntled or just off kilter when people think, oh, well, you're just being vain because you're losing all this weight. And, I know with the relationships and all that, sometimes that can kind of build into this, is you're losing the weight and he's feeling uncomfortable, or he's losing the weight and you're feeling uncomfortable, or vice versa. However the relationship's working, you just have to realize that there's things you can do for you. You're going to go at your own pace. You're going to go at your own design, up and down maybe, but you keep that progress working up. And each time you have a success, let that feed your confidence. Let that be your confidence builder. It's not vanity, it's confidence. And as long as you're not, putting others down, you're pulling them up, that really truly is a true demonstration of confidence. Well, I hope you enjoyed this discussion today. If you did, would you please do me a favor? Would you go to 40plusfitnesspodcast.com/support? And there you're going to find a link to our Amazon link. And if you use that Amazon link when you're doing your Christmas shopping, that's going to allow us to make a small commission off of each purchase you make when you've clicked that link. It doesn't cost you anything more and does help send a few pennies over here to the show to help me keep this thing running at least a break even if we can get there. But it does cost money to do a podcast, so I appreciate any support you can do. Again, go to 40plusfitnesspodcast.com/support and use the Amazon link when you're doing your Christmas shopping on Amazon. Thank you. Next time on the 40 Plus Fitness Podcast, I'm going to share my best mobility tips. Until then, have a happy and healthy day.